Okay, so let's start with healthcare provider. What do I have to do on my website to rank at the top of Google?
So one of the biggest mistakes that healthcare providers make is thinking that they can optimize their website to rank at the top of Google. That is just not the case. The most powerful thing you can do to rank at the top of Google is to get other healthcare providers to mention your website on their website. So let's say you were a shoulder surgeon, you would reach out to other knee surgeons and get them to mention you on their website. And by showing Google that you're well networked and a lot of other healthcare providers are mentioning you, that really shows that you're an authority in the industry and you can rank for almost anything you want. And I think it's important to know that this is literally the reason why we all use Google today. Google discovered that if other websites in your same industry are mentioning your website, then you must be a trusted provider. And so when Google discovered this, the search results got a lot better for the end users. And that is literally why we use Google and not MSN or Yahoo today, because they developed that system to look for those other websites mentioning your website. That is literally the most powerful thing you can do to rank number one on Google.
Okay, so what about Google reviews? What impact do they have on SEO? My competitor, I've got more reviews than them, but they rank higher than me in the maps.
So with Google reviews, it's not just about the quantity of reviews, but also about the velocity. In the past 3 months, how many reviews have you gotten in compared to your competitors? And not just the reviews, but the actual context of those reviews, the text. So when your customer or patient leaves a review for you, are they mentioning the services that they got? Are they mentioning the location? So for example, if you were a dentist in Melbourne, you would want your patients to leave something about dentistry and something about Melbourne in the actual review, because Google is now, with their AI, is reading these reviews and determining based on that user input, not upon your reply, but upon the user's input. So yes, quantity does matter, but you need to have velocity, like recent velocity of reviews going up, and you want to get mentions of different services and locations within those reviews. And you should also note that you don't want to have your customers leaving reviews at your location. You want to become relevant right across your entire region or city, or if you're in the country regions, right across the area. So you want your customers going home and leaving the reviews from their location. Google knows where they were when they left that review. And so we want to become relevant to that location. So we had one particular customer that would get all of his customers to leave a review for him inside his premises. And he was wondering why he wasn't ranking right across his entire region. He only ranked in his one area. And it was simply because Google saw that all the reviews were coming from that one location instead of spread out right across the region. So it's review velocity, it's the context of those reviews, and it's also about the location of where that reviewer was when they left it. So it's not just about that quantity anymore.
So what's the difference between traditional SEO and local SEO?
Well, the fact is all search results now are actual local SEO. So when you go to Google and you do any search for any service or product, you are now seeing localized results. So depending on where you're searching from, the results actually change. So for example, if you're on one side of the city, you could get completely different results to the other side of the city. So we've got a graphic that we can show, which basically shows where you rank right across the entire region. And in this example, it's a knee surgeon in Melbourne. And you can see at the top there of Melbourne that he ranks very poorly. So any users in this region, he wouldn't even be showing up on Google. So if you look at the top side of that map, you'll see that he ranks in position number 7, 8. He wouldn't even show up in Google. On the other parts of Melbourne, you can see that he ranks number 3 or 4. So the search results and his rankings change based on where the user is actually searching from. So what you're looking for is to actually change that entire map grid to rank in the top 3 positions right across the entire region, which again goes back to why reviews from all different locations is so critical. You want to show that you're relevant to the entire region so that when searchers in that region type in what you offer, you show up in Google. So, often people can't understand why they're not getting much traffic from Google, they're not getting much extra leads and inquiries. And it's usually because, they're searching, and for them, they may show up on the top of Google, but for everybody else, they're often nowhere to be found. And this is the difference between what the old traditional SEO was and the current local SEO And remember, all results now are localized results. You get a custom result based on where you're searching from. So it's important to become relevant to the entire region where your customers are. The other thing to keep in mind with Google reviews is, I read a stat the other day that said 70 to 80% of our users check the reviews of a business before making an inquiry or booking or purchase, which is absolutely huge. So it's not just about, getting found in Google, but it's also about getting chosen. That you can appear in the top of the search results, but if you don't get chosen, it's a complete waste of time. And in actual fact, Google now tracks this. It has something called Rank Brain, and it's tracking the interactions of users and seeing how many people are clicking on your profile and then clicking through to your website, because they want to produce the best result for their users. And if your reviews are poor or there's no recent reviews, then your rankings are not going to stay up there forever. It's eventually going to come down in Google.
Okay, so I'm a business with multiple locations.
Yep.
How would I rank each of those locations at the top of Google?
So with a multi-location, let's say like a franchise or even just multi-stores, what you would do is you would create separate location pages for each one of your locations or franchises. And then you would point the Google Business Profile to that particular page. So often people don't have separate location pages for each and every location they have. So you want to really document that on your website and then get the profiles to link to those. And then from there, you want the people that particular franchise or separate location services, you want to make sure the reviews are going to that particular Google Business Profile. So you have the unique location page, you then have the unique Google Business Profile linking to that page from the website, and then you get the reviews from that local region going to that one individual Google Business Profile. You do not want to have people from different states or completely different regions leaving reviews on one profile because you just want to boost it up. You really need to have that localized reviews coming in to show Google that this is very relevant to this particular audience. So that's really crucial for franchises and multi-location businesses.
Okay, so I have an e-commerce website. How do I rank at the top of Google and beat the bigger brands?
So again, with e-commerce, the most powerful thing you can do is get other websites in your industry to mention your website. Because when Google sees that, it shows Google that you're an authority on the topic. So at the same time, you also want to be focusing on leveraging a lot more content on your site around your actual products. So for example, a lot of the bigger brands, they have a huge inventory, and so they have 1 or 2 pages on each particular product. But smaller e-commerce stores have an advantage because they're able to create a lot more what they call content silos, which are essentially just multiple pieces of content around that one product. So for example, we had a customer that sold adjustable electric beds worth several $1,000s each. And we made sure that there was content on all the different types of beds, case studies, galleries. We were able to really fill out and create a lot of pages all around electric adjustable beds, whereas their competitors just have one page, one product page, which is pretty typical on e-commerce. So if you're a smaller brand, you really want to take that one product page and expand it into multiple different pages and then point those pages to that product page with internal linking. So that's basically just on the words, just make sure you include a link to the product page. And when Google sees the authority coming in from other websites to your website, plus the topical authority, that shows Google that you're a great result for this query, and you'll normally rank much higher than any of the bigger brands because you're a topical authority as well as a linked authority as well.
Okay, so the next question I've got here is in regards to blogging. Does it really help with ranking?
Okay, so with blogging, blogging can definitely help with ranking, but I would shift the focus from thinking about blogging and think about what are all the questions that my customer asks our business, and use your blog for that. So what you want to do is find all the questions that your customers ask you and answer it on your blog. And this works really good with voice search too, because remember, voice search counts for about 20% of all the search queries on Google today. And when people use voice search, they generally ask more longer phrases, and it's usually question based. So if you can use your blog to answer all the questions adequately for the user, then Google will start showing those blogs a lot more and you'll generate a lot more traffic from it. And actually at the moment, we've actually got a completely free service. So if you go to boldseo.com.au/questions, you can actually sign up to that. It's completely free and we'll actually find all the questions that your customers type into Google, and we'll actually write a unique blog on your website answering each one of those questions. So it's completely free and at the moment, so feel free to sign up to that.